Dear members, it is with great humility and gratitude to God that I stand before you today as the chairperson of Open Arms Network. First and foremost, I want to thank God for bringing us this far. I also want to sincerely thank every member who has given their time, resources, ideas, prayers, and energy to make this network what it is today. To all of us, thank you. Today is not just another meeting. This is an important moment in the history of Open Arms Network. It is an opportunity to look back at where we came from, appreciate what we have achieved, acknowledge our weaknesses, and determine where we want to go from here. Remembering where we came from, ladies and gentlemen, Open Arms Network has a history. Our story began with a young girl called Faith Boswori from Keumbu. On 22nd February 2021, a group was created to respond to Faith's urgent medical need. Faith was only 8 years old and was suffering from cancer. Her family was struggling to meet the cost of her treatment. This time, one of the members of the community reached us. I was in Keumbu together with my brother Nyaneti, and he requested for us to go there and pray with the family. When we went to that family, we realized that the girl was so sick, she did not need only prayers, but also she needed medical treatment. So urgently, we took it up and we took the girl to the hospital. So we realized that the bill was too high. We were not able to meet that bill. So we created a WhatsApp group of which we invited friends to join that group. At that time, so many of us joined the group, and there was a tremendous help that came from all over the world so that we can try and save that girl's life. Unfortunately, we lost that girl to that cancer. After the burial, most of the members who were in the group attended the burial, and we sat together and asked, what about the next phase? What about another child who is sick and whose parents cannot afford treatment? What about a family living in a house that is falling apart? What about someone going to bed hungry? What about a family without a toilet? What about a child who cannot continue with school because of the family has no resources? That question gave birth to a bigger vision. In August 2021, members decided that the group should not end with Faith's story. Instead, we should continue helping other people facing difficult circumstances. That is how the vision behind Open Arms Network developed. Therefore, when we talk about Open Arms Network, we are not simply talking about a WhatsApp group or an association. We are carrying a legacy. Faith's story reminds us why we started. So, what we have become. Over the years, Open Arms Network has grown beyond the original medical appeal. We have seen members come together to build and renovate houses for the needy families, to provide food to people facing hunger, to support people seeking medical treatment, to construct toilets and improve sanitation, to support vulnerable families, and even to stand with one another during bereavement. The achievements may sometimes appear small when we look at them individually, but to the person who received food when they had nothing to eat, it was not small. To the family that received a decent house, it was not small. To the sick person who received medical assistance, it was not small. To the family that received a toilet, it was not small. To the bereaved members who saw fellow members standing beside them during their darkest moments, it was not small. That is the power of collective action. The importance of the active membership. As we move forward, I want to emphasize one principle very strongly. Open Arms Network is not a group where people participate only when they need help. We are a community of people who commit themselves to helping others. We have therefore introduced the principle of active participation. A member should not join the network simply because they want to benefit from the welfare scheme. A member should not disappear from all network activities and only appear when there is a bereavement contribution. We must be there for one another before the crisis, during the crisis, and after the crisis. Our welfare system must therefore reward genuine membership, participation, commitment, and solidarity. If we want people to stand with us when we are in trouble, we must also be willing to stand with others when they are in trouble. One of the areas we have strengthened in our welfare system, we have established a bereavement fund so that when an eligible member experiences the loss of a nuclear family member, assistance can be provided without unnecessary delay. The idea is simple. Instead of waiting until tragedy occurs and then bring to collect money, which can sometimes take too long, we maintain a kitty that is already equipped. Then, after the fund is used, members contribute 500 each to replenish it. That is what solidarity looks like. I want also to talk about accountability and transparency. As chairperson, I also want to emphasize accountability. The resources entrusted to Open Arms Network do not belong to individuals, they belong to the network. Whether it is 100 shillings or 100,000 shillings, every contribution must be treated with respect. Our members deserve to know what their contributions are being used for. Our beneficiaries deserve to receive the assistance intended for them. Our leaders must therefore be accountable. We must maintain proper records, we must communicate clearly, we must avoid conflict of interest, and we must ensure that the network's money and property are used only for the purpose for which they are entrusted to us. Members, I'm glad that you are here today for an AGM, and for this far, it is God that who has brought us. May we continue to be the open arms through which someone who is hurting finds comfort, someone who is hungry finds food, someone who is sick finds help, someone without shelter finds home, and someone who has lost hope finds a reason to hope again. So our Open Arms motto says, extending love, restoring hope. Alafu tunasema tenda wema, nenda zako. Thank you and God bless you.